He is hoping that I've not done something wild. Aha! Weird. Why is this one working? Oh no! Oh dear. I'm definitely not very good at this, am I? Oh dear. Right. Let's see if I can figure out this. We're nearly there. I think we're nearly there. Oh dear. Right. Right. Yay! I say yay. We'll see. Let's delete this. Hello, Beverly. Right, my pile of stuff. I've had my breakfast waffles. I have been for a little bike ride, and I've been to the grocery store, or supermarket, I guess we call it here. And it's lovely weather. And oh, Audrey is she's having a little play. Do you want to come here? She might do. Yeah, she does. Hey, we're gonna say hi. Who's that? Say hey everyone around the world. Is that a bit better? Hopefully it is. Oh, I have a coffee, little one, and I am going to get started on a little bit of knitting before I show you. I think what I'll do is I'll show you some old crochet projects. Not old, but the ones that I've done over the last couple of years, much before I was a knitter with a capital K. And this I'm working on is a completely made up pattern. It is going to be a top down raglan cardigan. It feels so good. I can't try it on properly because I've got one sleeve on stitch holder, but I think the shape's going to be really nice. It's going to be really, really simple, and just I'm going to work back and forth for the body now. I might increase a few more rows along the front, but I'm kind of just playing it by ear, so to speak. I think I might add an I-cord edging to it all, or just leave it really raw. We'll see. I kind of really like how it's rolling. I've added some short rows into the back, which I'm hoping will make a difference. And yeah, I'm knitting it out of this lovely yarn called Nimbus. Oh, don't know where my thing is. By Trisk Elion Yarn. I believe they're in Wales, and the company were really, really nice. I wanted another colour and they actually agreed to... Thank you, Beverly. I mean, I don't know that it will work properly, but we'll see. Yeah, I wanted to knit a big grey cardigan to replace... I've got a few old cardigans that I just love, but also they really are pilling and are a bit... None of them are just quite right, so I'm hoping to make one. And I ordered this and then mentioned it afterwards that that's what I would like, and they actually said that they would dye it to order, which is amazing. But this is Suri Alpaca blend, and it's a bit lighter than the one that I was used to working with. It's a lot finer, so instead of 175 meters for 50 grams, you get 300 meters. And it's mulberry silk, which is lovely. Yeah, the colour's Ash Rose, and I just loved it. And I actually I swatched with, I haven't got it down here, an undyed non-superwash yarn in cream, and it was quite nice, but it just didn't look quite right. So what I have done is dyed some of my own yarn. So it is acid dyed. I would love to have done some natural dyeing, but I actually did it in the week after work on a Monday. I am not alternating skeins, but I'm thinking because it's held together, it doesn't really matter too much. Like on this one in particular, this skein of the non-superwash, I've got quite a bit of variegation here, but I really, really like it. I'm quite happy with it. And I do love the way it's knitting up. It's definitely mild, but it feels, the only way I could describe how it feels was like, you know when a towel's been in the wash and then tumble dried, because we don't have a tumble dryer, it feels particularly, it's got a, oh, maybe I'll shut that door. It's got a soft feel to it, and it's like cross between that comfort factor and maybe a bunny rabbit. We used to have a Rex rabbit. I've just remembered that I do have waffles in the waffle maker still, which is really bad. They are almost like biscuits. Coming back. Yeah. So that's the project that I'm working on at the moment. I started on Monday. And yeah, it's kind of been one of those projects that's really come along quite quickly, and I think it's just because it's so simple. I literally cast on for the front, well, for the top. I kind of gauged, because I did actually do a swatch, a proper one, how long it would be and how long it would need to be, and then I've just been doing raglan increases every other row. So it's kind of back and forth, practicing my proper pearl switch and stitch not twisted. So yeah. Yeah, it's quite a feminine colour for me, but I think it's starting to match my sort of what I'm drawn to at the moment. I used to be really drawn to warm colours, but I think as I'm getting, I don't know, not older, maybe that's the wrong word, but I don't know, I'm just starting to wear more of these washed out colours in cooler tones. Yeah. So we get a row done and then we can move on to some crochet fun. Audrey's just staring at me like I'm a little bit mad, which maybe I am, but yeah. What are you up to today, Beverly? Are you knitting? I think I missed your last comment on the other stream where I've been a little bit inept with technology. Ah, thank you. I think actually there's a fun little story that this all kind of seems to match, but this little top was handmade by a woman called Lara at I met her at Ventnor Fringe Festival, which is a festival on the Isle of Wight. It's I guess like a fringe festival, very artsy, and we were on a cliff top for the weekend next to a couple of girls that had a caravan that they were not knitting, I want to say knitting because that's what I'm talking about, sewing. They were sewing and recycling old items and turning them into new. And at the end of the weekend, when I had provided them with lots of tea, coffee and things to keep warm because it got quite cold, we got to watch Moonrise Kingdom on a projector screen while the stars were out and there was a meteor shower. It was all very amazing, and we were all sat together having cups of hot chocolate, which was really nice. But yeah, so at the end of the weekend they said, what would you like? And at the time it was very much not the sort of thing that I would have picked out, but I did for some reason, and it all seems to have aligned to one outfit maybe. Actually no, there's quite a lot of outfits to be had with this. It's quite useful for wearing with shorts in the summer and jeans in the winter. Yeah. So I won't talk about EYF too much, but I am a little bit sad that I'm not there. My own fault. I totally forgot to get tickets. Well, I say forgot to get tickets. I forgot to put an alarm on to get tickets. But there's always next year, and there's definitely other events. I know that there's some amazing festivals over in Canada and the States, but I think that's not within my budget. Not with hopefully a wedding this year, and at least one holiday would be cool. That maybe one that's abroad, but I know we'll end up in Scotland again this year, at least twice, I want to say. Ah, a gnome. That sounds exciting. Who's running that? Church is a lovely thing to do it. It really is. I love the community aspect of it as well as the time for yourself. Hey Taylor, that's exciting and a little bit awkward because I'll try not to gush, but I totally agree with you. I don't know how they afford all of that. I find it much easier to travel locally or up and down the country, which is why I've actually only been, I'm still very lucky actually, I don't say only, I've been out of Europe twice, and that was both in 1 year, and I didn't have to, very luckily I didn't have to spend the money myself. I was eternally grateful for that. But yeah, I've done a lot more exploring up and down the country here, which if you've got it, I don't see why not. Like, even thinking for a little bit wider, the whole carbon footprint of travelling frequently seems a bit, you know, you can get beautiful yarns close by, so, but then it's the meeting people, so the connections and actually meeting other knitters that have an interest too. But I'm with you. What are you working on at the moment, Taylor? I will show you and get rid of that pile of stories that I've got over there. Feels really strange purling this way, but I am very pleased that we figured that out. Ah, that's so nice. Alex has gone to a mountain bike event. I'm not quite sure what he's doing, whether he's riding his bike, which he has put in the car. It's not in front of the coffee machine where it normally is. Yeah, I don't know if he's just sort of doing marshalling. Are you guys just having a chilled out day at home? Yeah. I have to show you little Audrey, who's just... What are you doing? It's so funny. Never say never, I guess, Beverly. It is far. Britain's good. I don't, from what I've heard and what I know, I think we've all got our own goodness. Like, Colorado just looks unreal. Canada just looks unreal. One of my best friends is actually from Newfoundland, and I remember growing up, we actually met online, and we've met only a dozen times. He travels, I don't. But I just remember being really jealous when I was younger, and I'm so pleased that I've got over that. But he would look one side, and he's in this quiet little town where it's quite busy and things happen, they've got a music scene, but then he'd go out the back door and there was this huge lake, mountains and evergreen forest. So cool. Yeah. And now I think actually I could travel 20 minutes and I've got quite a nice park and country homes and things, and then travel an hour and I'm in proper countryside, but then I could travel up to Wales and Scotland very easily. Pretty cool. Sarah Schreier. Oh, I'll have a little look. I'm writing a note so I don't forget. Oh yeah, Shearer. Sarah Shearer. How wonderful. She's got some cool things. I won't get distracted. We do have Tolkien and C.S. Lewis, and oh no, my favourite book, why can't I remember? Peter Pan. Not C.S. Lewis. Might have to go and get a copy. What's it called? But I love Peter. Yeah, we do have it. I think we've got it very good here, and I think I highly appreciate it. But I do very much live in an area where it is, other than my home, which I'm very grateful for, it's very fast paced, and working in London especially, it kind of, I know how to manage it now, but it was not very good for me growing up. No, not good for me growing up, like I regret it. I don't. It just doesn't suit the person that I am and that I strive to keep growing into. Does that make sense? Taylor, Wales is beautiful. I find Scotland in particular to be friendly, but Wales is very, very friendly too. The cities are, I'd say, fun for a certain type of person, but the countryside's just beautiful. It's like very green and lots of rocky stone houses, slate roofs. It is a little bit hobbits, I guess, in certain places. It really is like the Shire. We climbed Snowdon twice now, or 3 times, and every time I go there I get a little bit teary. It's just, I think for me it's the sheer quantity of green space just makes me very happy. But there's quite a lot of when we've gone, the campsites and the people at the campsites have been really, really like helpful and overly nice. Like if we asked how we got somewhere, they wouldn't just say, oh, just go up there. That, you know, do you want a cup of tea? Yes, please, I'd love a cup of tea. And then they'll show you a map properly, and you can spend the time to write it down. They've got a bit more time than we do here in Watford. Sounds so strange to say it out loud. I'm all about the Shire. Fun fact, I actually only thought about this the other day when I was listening to some music and talking with a friend at work. I used to ice skate, and it's the only thing that I can say I've ever truly been good at without feeling like I never needed to really put in effort. It was just good. It made me so happy. But I stopped, and one of the girls at work asked me, like, what was it that I used to skate to? And I was like, oh yeah, the Concerning Hobbit from Lord of the Rings was my thing. It was my favourite. No matter how many times I listened to it or skated to it, I just makes you feel so good. I did say that I'd show you after a single row, but once I'm doing a knit row, it's so much easier to concentrate on chatting as well as. But anyway, I have only got this much left of the 300 meters that I started with, so I'll join that back on later. Let's show you these. It's quite funny, really, in hindsight. They're not the sort of things that I would knit or crochet now. Maybe they are, but this is funny. So I started this because I wanted a cardigan and I wanted to try and crochet a garment. And all of these things are a pinch of salt, and, you know, I'm still pleased with them that I even tried. So I crocheted this cardigan. I might even put it on because this was the first garment that I ever knit or crocheted, as you can tell. Oversized is good. And it's not that bad. I love the colours. Alex actually bought most of this yarn for me. I bought this tweedy one, which is, I think most of these are sort of acrylic 80% with 20% wool. These ones are a bit more. I think these are 60% wool with a little bit of something else in. I think it's nylon. I think it was sock yarn that Alex actually, he went to Loop. He went to Loop before I ever went to Loop in London. Have a wonderful time at church, Beverly. Maybe we'll see you again later. Let's do this again. We'll try and figure it out for a time where it's not too early for everyone or too late for everyone. Have a lovely day. It's got a pocket. In fact, it's got something in the pocket. But yeah, I don't think this is bad going for a first project. Like, I'd never really done that much. Right, yeah. There you go, that's it. That's all I've got to say on this one. But I do wear it a little bit. Audrey really likes sitting on it. He He's just chilling out with me now. Yeah. So because that went quite well and I was quite pleased, I maybe got a little bit over excited. Let's fold this up. And you just like all the projects, don't you? And I cast on, I say cast on, I crocheted another one, this time even chunkier without pockets. But I really, really liked this. This has got a much better texture. And I think it was, again, this was quite a cheap acrylic, 80%, 20%. But the stitch, it's simply single crochet, double crochet, or half double crochet. And I think the fabric it creates for a crochet is really, really good. As you can see, it's pilling like no man's business, but I have been wearing this for working on the car, and actually I've got quite a bit of wear out of it lately because I have seemed to be drawn to the bluey, cooler colours. I don't know why. I used to be such an earth child. But yeah, it's getting more and more worse. It's a bit like my dressing gown. I just shove it on all the time. What's up there? I don't know if she's watching the clouds or if she's seen something. Let's put this one away. We won't spend too long on these. Put that one down. And then I finally figured out how to... Well, I finally thought it was time to try and crochet a jumper, because I'd had quite a bit of success considering with my cardigans. And again, I think this is, it might be Women's Institute yarn, 80/20, but it's just a simple crew neck, turtleneck jumper. And again, I got quite a lot of wear out of this before I started knitting. I wore it climbing up some of the mountains in Scotland. It's quite a good layering piece, and quite good with jeans. So because I'd managed to do one, I then did another in brown, which, as I was saying, Earth Child, was much more my colours. I did it a little bit cropped. I added a few rows in the back, so I actually kind of figured out about short rows. I really, really like this one. I do still wear it a little bit, but I liked I liked it so much that I actually knit one for Alex too. So we have matching jumpers. His doesn't have as much of a turtleneck as mine, but yeah, two rather large jumpers. And I actually think I did these like maybe within a week. So if you are looking for a very quick satisfaction project, then this might be the one for you. Again, I was sticking with the half double crochet, single crochet, knit, I keep saying knit, crochet stitch, and added ribbing, which I believe I did in simply all half double crochets. So there's those, and then this one is kind of dear to me a little bit. It's a cardigan, and I wear this one more. This is Women's Institute acrylic, premium acrylic, and I know it's not going to last all that long, but I will definitely knit something similar when it eventually does die, but there's no point knitting anything yet. Yeah, we've actually got matching sweaters that were homemade, matching socks that were homemade, and we've got mustard dungarees that match too. So sometimes we look incredibly ridiculous and like maybe child's TV presenters. Yeah. So this, I wanted something a bit nicer to wear at work last summer. I actually was working at, I've done so many strange things. There was an event we had called Walking with Dinosaurs it's down by the O2, so in London there's the big Millennium Dome, which a lot of people know about, and just by there we had an event that you kind of walked around this trail and you went back in time and got to look at 3D dinosaurs. It was just good fun, but it was really cold in there, even though it was boiling hot outside, so I took it upon myself to crochet this, because every half an hour there was, how do I explain it? So within half an hour there was only 2 minutes of rush of coffee where people would come in, get a coffee and then go, so I had quite a lot of time. Ah, hi Sarah. So yeah, that's that. I crocheted it to wear at work, but it was the start of the process of starting to think a bit more long term and being more caring for the environment through it all. So this actually replaced a cardigan that my dad bought me when I was 12, and it was almost the same pattern. I think this was a free pattern that I just googled that I will actually try and find and maybe put this on Ravelry. But the buttons are from the cardigan that my dad got me. They're not wood, but they have sort of a wood leathery effect, and I love them. And it's kind of like, yeah, I had that cardigan for the best part of 15 years, maybe longer. God, I'm getting old. So yeah. Oh, I didn't show that one, but basically there's another jumper here that's it used up in the trying to be a bit conscious. I used up all of the leftovers from the other jumpers that I'd made. But I wore this, I think actually there's a picture and I'm at the top of it's fine, I can be Kat or Heather. Everyone seems to call me Heather from it, and I kind of like it. It was my pseudonym for a while. Have a lovely time today, Taylor. I'm so pleased that you joined me. I feel very grateful. Yeah, it's good fun. But this has now been designated for painting and doing the car, because it's quite warm, but it's really not. Yeah, it's just not. That's fine. You've got to learn, but I don't want to be too wasteful as I learn, if that makes sense. And then this is the last one. I crocheted a scarf as a thank you to Monica, and I talk about Monica quite a bit. I've only met her twice, but I consider her to be my my Scottish mum maybe. Like, I don't know. I've just really warmed to her and getting all of my But yeah, so I crocheted her a scarf as a thank you for having us, and that I was very excited because I got to order some yarn from Blacker Yarns, and it was a single breed, which makes me really happy because I know where it was from, who made it. I think it's lovely. And I wrote it down and I called it the Monica because I'd created my own little pattern, and then I decided I really, really liked the texture. So I made myself a jumper, and again this is premium acrylic from Women's Institute, but this jumper actually gets a lot of wear, and it is starting to wear down and pill, but I wear it with my dungarees, which I wear a lot, and it's quite good with high-waisted skirts and jeans. And I don't think, even though it is quite obvious that it's crochet, I don't think it is as obvious as some of the jumpers that I have seen. I do really like it, and I think that if it was crocheted in a higher quality yarn, maybe a proper sheepy fibre, I think it would be a really lovely piece. So I might try and find the pattern that I made for this, and yeah, maybe make another one again once this has started to really wear. Yeah, that's my crochet jumper journey. And then it was after I finished that one that I kind of ended up casting on for the Hexworthy by Katie Green of the Green Bean podcast, which is amazing. If you've not watched that, I highly recommend it. I love Katie a lot. I think she's a very talented, not just designer, but artist, illustrator, human being. But yeah, maybe I'll show you these. These are quite funny too. There's one that I love. So I have also had my own little micro bakery. I've tried a lot of things, and I'll do maybe an episode about that, or a live chat maybe. And I was also ice skating a bit, so I decided I needed a big bag for my ice skates, and I did a scrappy crochet bag. I don't know what to say. I didn't understand edging properly, so it's got this sort of frilliness to it. I used up, I don't even know that he'll remember, I've used one of Alex's old shirts to line the bag. And the way I managed to do it, it actually buttons up still. I don't know why I find it funny, I'm sorry. I haven't woven ends in. Lord knows how I sewed these on. But it is definitely a crocheted backpack that is, well, it still has my ice skates in it when it's not being shown. So yeah. I hope you enjoy it. The bottom of the bag itself is, I think, gorgeous. Maybe I should consider reworking it. If anyone's got any ideas, then please let me know. I think this was a bit of Blacker Yarns left over actually. I couldn't tell you what it is now, but yeah. And I started to learn, so at the point where I started to get really curious about knitting was when I realised that I couldn't do colour work. It just didn't look right or nice in crochet. So I started to look into Tapestry crochet, I think it's called, in Tunisian. And at the time I was still new and didn't really understand patternings. Not that I really understand it now, I just try my best, and it's worked out quite a bit. So here is my other scrappy bag that I might put in the wash to felt. I don't know if acrylic will felt quite the same. I know that some of it's Blacker Yarns like these two, but I think the rest of it's all acrylic. But I think it's quite cool. It's strange. It uses an old belt from my mum as the handle, and it might make a really good project bag actually. Maybe I should keep stuff in that. But yeah, on camera it looks a little bit nicer than it looks in real life. Maybe it's because it's lower quality. But at the time I was completely over the moon that I'd figured out how to do this. Yeah, I really like the chart. Maybe I could do a nicer version that I could actually use as a going out bag. Audrey's having a great time just sitting and climbing on everything, aren't you? I'm nearly through. I've got some more crochet projects, but these are just ones that were garments and bags. This one I actually crocheted on the way up to Scotland the last time we went in August. We stayed at a place called Conwy Croft, which was amazing. Alex loved it because it's mountain biking basically. We stayed in the woods and the pitch was absolutely stunning. We were high up on the side of hills because of the mountain biking, and you could hear a stream. It was just gorgeous. But I realised that I didn't pack a tote bag, and I do firmly believe that you should have a tote bag with you or a market bag at any time, because you just never know. Like, even if it means putting a coat in it, especially in the UK, you don't know what weather to prepare for. So I crocheted up this on the way up, and it's been really useful. Not that hard wearing, I'm sure, because it's acrylic, but it does do the trick. And then, so this was only last year, but this one I did 2 or 3 years ago, and it's one of my favourite bags of all time. It's sentimental too. I do like to add sentimentalness into it. Alex bought some hemp string for the garden, and I accosted it and made a big market tote bag, sort of a beach bag type thing, that I use all the time. I put a little chain of crochet stitches so that I hook my keys onto it so they don't, I was always worried that they'd fall out, so I did that. I thought that was quite clever. And also, because I'm accosting everything from everyone else, or recycling, Alex was going to chuck this belt away, and we'd been together 5 years at that point, and it's the only belt he'd ever worn, and he wore it every single day. And he was like, oh no, you can't use it, but I've used it, and because of the length, it's absolutely perfect for shoulders. But when I cycle to to the supermarket, the grocery store, or the market, it works as a rucksack, which I just think this bag's brilliant. Maybe it's something that I should share with everyone. I used it all summer. I do use it in the winter too, but just not as much, just because everything gets rained on. But yeah, I love this one. Makes me smile a lot. So that is all of those projects. That is my crochet journey, and a little bit of a blast into the past, and I guess it's a bit of progression on how my thoughts on yarn has changed too. But yeah, I'm not really sure what else to say now. I guess we haven't really talked about EYF too much, but I mean, doesn't matter. I think I'm going to go off and continue to do a little bit of knitting on this. I have to prepare my lunches and dinners for the next few days. I do think food is one of my other favourite things. It's so important that we nourish ourselves, and also I'm going to go off and practice on my mat for a little bit, do a little bit of yoga. I've started to notice that I do need to actually stretch my wrists a little bit more on a day-to-day basis since I started knitting, and I might share a few of those stretches that I do in a video at some point, if that's something people might be interested in. Yeah. I hope you all have a really, really nice Sunday. I hope that it feels a little bit more like spring where you are. It definitely is here. Maybe I'll take you for a quick little peek outside. Look, it looks so sunny. Oh, crash. But I'll show you this quickly. I say quickly. My broccoli's really doing well. It's starting to do crazy things, and the chives, I think this is garlic chives, and the fennel is completely alive. Oh, hey Audrey. You alright? I think this is a lemon thyme that's come back. Oh yeah, it is. It smells amazing. And here, I don't know what's happened to it. This is a tea plant that's growing actual tea in the UK. Monica, the lovely woman that I talk about a lot, grows tea up in Scotland, which is amazing. And this is, I want to say blackberries. No, it's not blackberries. Why would we grow maybe it is. but we've probably got enough sage to last a lifetime. Maybe I should have that in my lunch today. Sage and mushroom tart. Oh, and because you'll get an update quite a bit, our hops, these are the English hops that we've got, are growing like crazy already. They actually usually grow up and they fill all of this space. Yeah, there's my Morris Minor. Yay! Right, on that note, I hope you all have a lovely weekend and the rest of your Sunday, and let me know if you'd like to do this again soon. Bye!